Hi, I'm Debra Atkinson, and this is Flipping 50, where I help you reset, tune up, and prepare for your second and better half with the vitality and the energy that you want. In every episode, I help women just like you answer their toughest questions about what they're struggling with most, and I give you solutions to what to eat, how to move, and how to answer your toughest time challenges so you can get the most benefit in the least amount of time. Send me your question to flipping50tv.com, and if I use your question for the show, I'm going to send you exclusive access to gifts and goodies I'll tell you more about later. But even if I don't use your question, I'm going to send you right away my Muscles in Minutes guide to toning those hard to tone areas. What are you waiting for? Let's start Flipping 50 together. Today's question is from Belinda, who writes, I've been trying for years to slim down. The weight just won't leave me. All my weight's situated around my stomach and chest area. What am I doing wrong? Also, what supplements are essential for our age group? Belinda's tried it all. Eating less, exercising more. Eating more, exercising less, high protein, low carbs, you name it. Sound familiar? Belinda, you've got all the right pieces. We just need to pull them together in a slightly different way to make that puzzle work. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So Belinda, here's what I feel like you're doing. You've got great pieces to your puzzle, like great spices in the kitchen that are awesome and amazing in certain dishes and terrible in others. So what we want to do is make sure that we take the cinnamon and put that in the oatmeal and not the cayenne. So we're going to mix and mingle the pieces of the puzzle that you've already got going for you and put them together in the right dose and the right amount so it tastes great and gives you the results you want. Belinda, your total exercise time right now is about 6.5 hours. We're gonna cut that down to about 3.5 really quality hours. And between, what I want you to do is be neat with non-exercise activity time or thermogenesis. And that means you're boosting your metabolism by avoiding all long periods of sedentary sitting, watching television, even working. So you're getting up frequently. You're doing things like gardening, walking the dog, or if you don't have a dog, you're just getting up and down stairs, and even housework counts. So make sure you're thinking about how to stay active all day, every day, even if you don't formally exercise. That helps you burn calories, boost your metabolism all day, as well as that quality exercise that we're going to give you. We're going to talk about cardio, cutting it down from 5 one-hour sessions to 5 20-minute sessions that really count. We're going to talk about strength training and yoga and Pilates so that they help support your exercise program. And then we're going to talk about what you're eating and making sure you're getting the right thing at the right time. So right now, let's get you a knockout cardio workout. Belinda, we're going to talk about intervals right now. You're doing 5 days, 20 minutes each of interval training. Now, about 3 of those days, I want to be boxing, with or without the gloves, but it's a lot more fun with the gloves. The other days, you can do walking, you can bike ride, do elliptical, your choice. But I'm going to teach you today about boxing, and here's why. Every time you throw a punch, you're going to leverage and brace your core in a way that builds you in. So it's multitasking at its best, spending a lot of energy while you're toning and conditioning your core at the same time. So Belinda, let's talk about stance. You're gonna make sure you have a staggered stance, which means one foot in front of the other. Think if somebody was standing out there throwing you punches, you don't wanna fall over. So you're gonna be able to brace yourself this way. Then, I want you to pay attention in 2 punches that I'm going to teach you today. This is true of both of them. You want to make sure when you take your arm out, you don't actually snap it completely out, but you keep a slight bend in that elbow, and that protects your elbow and your shoulder from harm. Belinda, one more tip. Want to make sure that you realize what you're raising here is your arms and not your shoulders. So if things get really heavy and you start to get really tired, think about whether you have your shoulders up as well as your hands. They need to be up, protecting your jaw, just in case somebody hits you back. Let's hope they don't. But your shoulders should be down so that you're relaxed and just holding the hands up there. And we're gonna start with the jab, one of the most common punches. So here's how that goes. Palms are starting, face in, and you're gonna throw the jab right out here, rotating so that your palm is down, and then coming back. So it looks like this, jab, 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 jab. And you can do that for a minute, and that's a great interval. But what you'll do is do it on one side, and then you'll switch feet and hands and do it on the other side. So Belinda, punch number 2 is the cross. So that takes your back arm. So right now I'm standing with my right hand and my right foot close to you. I'm gonna take my left arm and come this way from the back. That's a cross. But what's really important is I can do a cross and it really starts from my hip. So I'm gonna take my left hip and push it toward you. And that's where the power comes from. And that's what makes it a core exercise. So it's here and back and here, and that's how I want you to practice it. And then it comes slowly out with the arm. Remember that slight bend of the elbow, and then it comes right back to you. So this is your cross and return. Cross, reset, cross, reset. And I can feel my abs fire, Belinda. So Belinda, you've got 2 basic punches, but with those, now we can make intervals. So you're gonna take that basic jab and do 30 seconds on the right, 30-second jabbing on the left, changing your lead leg. When you do that, that's an interval. You can repeat that interval or you can move on and add some variety. You do the same thing with your cross. 30 seconds on your right, turn and do 30 seconds on your left, and that's another interval. But here's where the real fun starts, Belinda. I'm gonna show you how to do jab, cross, cross. That's gonna be our first interval. Next, I'm gonna show you jab, jab, cross. And then next, do you know what's coming? Jab, 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 cross. Hitting both the right and the left sides evenly. Okay, Belinda, now you've got 5 different ways to do intervals. The jab, the cross, and those 3 basic combinations. Make sure you keep yourself even by hitting the right side and then switching your lead leg and your lead arm and doing it on the left side. You can repeat those just once, twice, 3 times, but make sure you put a little rest and recovery in between. That's important so that you can go hard on the interval work. Once you do that, when you're finished, you should be well aware that your core was working, that your upper body is fatigued, but not up here from doing this. Down here in your shoulders, your biceps, and your triceps. And then you've got those boxing intervals ready to go. Belinda, next step and next most important is strength. We're gonna take your 1 strength training session a week now, turn that into 2 quality sessions of about 30 minutes. It doesn't have to take that much time. What's important is you get the major muscle groups in. We went over that in episode 3. So here's a quick summary of the table of what that looks like and how you're gonna do it. Belinda, some women get really worried about strength training and getting hurt. But I want you to approach your strength training with superior confidence that what you're doing is the absolute right thing and dig a little deeper than might be comfortable, because we really want to optimize your metabolism and your ability to retain and create that lean muscle mass that's really gonna help you with that belly fat and getting it off. Strength training is gonna be your #1 exercise partner. Belinda, right now you told me with yoga, Pilates, you're doing 1 session a week. So what I wanna do is actually have you do multiple sessions, just shorter ones. So we're gonna insert some yoga into your cool down and have you use those stretches every time. Most importantly, I'm gonna show you some core exercises using a side leg series where you use your core as leverage so that you're bracing and pulling your core in as opposed to lying on the floor and doing crunches and things that are not so great for results and potentially injurious for your back. And here's what that looks like. Belinda, we're gonna talk about core and specifically Pilates exercises that'll help you focus on your core and using it in a way that pulls it in and gives you a flatter belly. A lot of people think core exercises are the ticket to getting a flat belly, but I've got an even better secret. Imagine I'm gonna throw a ball at you. You're gonna brace. I don't have to tell you to turn your abs on. You automatically will, just to protect yourself. The same thing happens, Belinda, when you do heavy strength training. You brace yourself in order to push or to pull and to lift something heavy. That's one of the secrets to how you get a flat ab and flat belly without actually doing core exercises on the floor that build your muscles outward instead of inward. And that's one of my best kept secrets for how to get a flat belly. So Belinda, this is the side leg series in Pilates. Here's how it's gonna go. You're gonna lie down. I want you to support your head and your neck, most importantly with your arm. Now you might see me break that rule because I'm looking at you, but I want you to get your feet pitched a little bit forward, not directly in a straight line, but slightly forward so you're better balanced. But most importantly, this top hand, I want you to knead it. We want to make sure that this top hip is right on top of the other one, that you're not rolled back and open. So if you've got this hand here and you feel if you move it, you'll fall forward, you are in the right spot. Starting here, I want you to reach your feet as far away from you as possible. Feel like you're lengthening your legs. You're going to lift one leg up. Take it down as if you're pushing it down, even though you're going with gravity. So you're gonna come up and push down, come up and push down. And here's a little detail, leave this out if you don't need it right now, but point to come up, press to come down, point and press. This is gonna feel like it's a leg exercise, not a core exercise at first. Lift, press. And I want you to do 10 of those. Then you're gonna leave that top leg there, about hip height, a little bit higher, and then you're gonna take that bottom leg and do a no place like home, click your heels together. It's important that you click your heels together, Belinda, and not your toes, because you won't have to move as far. So get that heel up there and then come down. You're gonna notice you've got a little bit more inner thigh action going on, but you've also got more leverage and you've got to secure and stabilize right through the middle. You're gonna do 10 of those and then you're gonna hold right here, and here's how the next one goes. Lift, come up together, and you've got a $100 bill between your feet. Take it to the floor. Lift up, come up, and if you drop that $100 bill, that's my tip today. And down. 10 of these, just like that, and you're gonna finish it all off with 10 lifting and lowering both legs. Then I want you to flip and do the other side, exactly the same. So Belinda, now we're gonna talk about food. It's really important that we get your protein and your carbohydrates right and at the right time. Let's take a look at what's on your plate. So Belinda, we're gonna talk about 2 key things for you, protein and carbohydrates. Well, let's start with protein. What I'd really love for you to do is to go grab my protein report. I created an entire report, starting with research that was done back in 2008, all the way to now, because it's growing, about the importance of protein for older adults particularly, but those who are hoping to be slimmer, slender over adults, about how to include protein in your diet in an optimal way so that we can create and hold on to our lean muscle mass so we stay slimmer and leaner and not get fatter with age. Let's talk about you. You're starting with breakfast with eggs, which is a great start, but it doesn't quite get you to the 35 grams of protein that I'd love to see you get at breakfast. So one way to do that simply is to add a protein shake to your breakfast. So go to today's show notes at foreverfitandfab.com to grab the yummy smoothie recipe to help you boost the amount of protein you start your day with, which is gonna help at every meal after. So Belinda, let's talk about lunch. So even though you've got a great salad full of greens, veggies, even a little bit of protein with goat cheese and chickpeas, you don't have enough protein on that plate. And it's like it's empty as far as your muscle protein synthesis is concerned. So we need to get some chicken, some tuna, some shrimp, some kind of protein source on that plate so that you can again get your quota of protein grams. Now, at lunch, it's also important that we start talking about carbohydrates. We need a few more than you needed at breakfast because your cortisol is just now at lunch starting to drop. So there's your two remembers for lunch. More protein, a few more carbohydrates, and you'll be set all afternoon. So Belinda, your last meal of the day, let's talk dinner. You're doing great with protein at dinner, and the rest of your plate is filled with vegetables already. What's missing from that plate is some carbohydrates. By the end of the day, your cortisol is dropping, and now we need the most carbohydrates at that evening meal. That's non-intuitive. So think about inviting a sweet potato, quinoa, or brown rice to your plate at dinner, and that will help you reduce cortisol or work well with it, which will help you reduce your belly fat. So the key flip of the day is where you store your weight or your fat determines how you're gonna go about ridding yourself of that weight and fat. Belinda, for you, with exercise, what's important is that we know you are gonna respond well to exercise as long as it's of the right kind. We're gonna work on heavy weight training and interval training, not to make more minutes, but to make your minutes count. And with nutrition, moderate approach to getting calories and getting the right amount of carbs is what works for you. You don't have to tighten it up so much that you're strict with your diet. Get the adequate amount of protein at every meal and increase the carbs as the day goes on so that at dinner time you're having the most amount of carbs so you can work with cortisol and not against it. Thank you, Belinda, for sending your question. Let us know how it goes. And now I'd like to hear from you. Do you struggle with holding weight somewhere where you just can't get it to budge? Or do you struggle with something else? Send me your question at flipping50tv.com, and if I choose your question and feature it on the show, I will send you exclusive access to the After 50 Fitness Formula for Women online course and You Still Got It, Girl, the book. Plus, my friends at Anne Marie Skincare will send you a full-size trio of skincare products so you can be beautiful from the inside out. And even if I don't choose your question for the show, you'll get my Muscles in Minutes guide for toning those hard-to-tone areas right from the start. Plus, if you have cellulite, you're gonna love the bonus section. What are you waiting for? Let's start flipping 50 together.